Okay, let's get started on the mockup. So, I have the mockup file open here, and as you can see, there's all of these separate folders in which you place your work. Now, I'm just going to open one of these. So this is the letter right here, and when I double click on this, another file opens up. It is called a PSB file, and it's a temp file. It only lives inside of this document in Photoshop, and when you close it, it disappears from your computer. It is embedded into Photoshop. So your letter is going to have to get put in here, okay? So what that means is that it is going to have to get taken out of this. Well, here we are talking about the envelope and the business cards, but it's the same for that as well. So let me open those. So we have card 1, which is the back here. So if I open this, this is the design. Our design needs to come in here, and it's here, right? So we need to save all of these as separate files. So we have the elements here. Remember, we put all of those separately. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Control key, and then when you do that, pay attention to the cursor, and when you go right on top of this area here, on top of the thumbnail, so I'm just going to click that. Now it's going to select just that area, okay? Because that's where we have the white little thing behind it. Then when I go to the crop tool, then I can, there are all these things here, it'll automatically go to selection, and it'll just crop around it, and then I just do crop. So now I only have this thing here. However, I need to do some cleanup. So we need to delete a whole bunch of things. We need to delete the envelope. We need to let's see, in the business card, let's see, we need to delete the left bars, and we also need to delete these because those belong to the front of the business card, and we don't want anything that we don't see here, okay? And then I'm going to just say save as, and I'm going to say BC back mockup, and I'm going to say save. Now let me close this, and let's go here. So BC back mockup, I have the file right here, so I'm just going to drag it onto the top in Photoshop. Then I'm going to go arrange, tile all vertically, and then I'm going to take this here and just drag it right onto here. Now it may not fit perfectly, that is to be expected. You want to center it, so because your design is centered, so let's just put the guide right in the center. Now what we just need to do is we need to take the back boxes, both of them, and just scale them up so that they go outside of that area. And now here's the thing. Now when I save this, it's going to automatically come to here. Meanwhile, let's go back to here because we need the front. Now I hold my cursor over this thumbnail area here, pay attention to where I am. I press down Control, I click, and here we go. Crop, selection, boom, boom. Now I say Save As, PC Front. Again, there are things we're going to be deleting. Let's see. Back boxes, left sidebars, logo, all that is going to go. What else? The logo, we don't need that either. And we also don't need any of these. And the reason why I'm cleaning it up like that is so that when I open it here, I don't have a lot of excess material. So now I go to card 2 and take this and move it right over here. Let me just see, I didn't delete the back boxes. Let me make this white. And let me just make sure that it looks like the other one. Now let's do this again. Save the PSP file, and voila, there it is. Now on this mock-up we don't have the back flap, unfortunately, so I won't be able to put that in, which is a shame because that's where I have my address, but I'm not going to change my design because of that, obviously. But I need to get the front of the envelope now. So let's see. Again, we go to the elements. Again, I hover over the thumbnail on the layer thing, press Control, where you see that little square that immediately happens next to the hand. Click on it, selection, doom, doom. Then I save this as envelope mockup. Now again, I'm going to delete a whole bunch of stuff. Delete all the business cards, delete the window, delete the address, the back boxes, the left sidebars, also delete these. And now let's go here, go to the envelope, put your design here, and I'm just, well, before we do that, I'm just going to make this white, clean it up, and now I'm just going to take the logo and bring it over like so. Let's see what happens. And there it is. Now I just want to double check something. It looks like as if it's a little bit too close to the top, so I need to move it down a tad, save it again, and it'll just come down. Move it over a tad, because I want it to look similar to my design, which means that in fact it has to move over even a little bit more, and we're done. So now all we need to do is we need to get the letterhead and the folder, and then the mock-up will essentially be finished. And this here we can just close now. And this is our letterhead. Now I'm just going to put all of these in a folder so that I can drag them easily, but now I'm actually going to look at something. Let's see, what's the size of... oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong place. So it's this here. What's the pixel size of this? The height is 3300 and the width is 2550, which I think is much smaller than mine. So let me see. No, actually it's pretty close. Okay, great. So now what I need to do is I just need to take all of this and put it here. Now let me just make this background white and actually just... now again, just like with the other one, this stuff may not fit because some of these mock-ups are made for the American system, so it will be a letter size rather than an A4. That's perfectly okay. You can just scale them and fit them. So I'm just going to fit the lines over here. We'll just open this back up and then just the logo. Let's see, back boxes. I need the logo, the back boxes, and the address, and these need to all move over here. Now again, let's see what happens when I save this. There you go. Now, like I said, this is a letter size, an American size, so it's not an A4. It's shorter, but that doesn't really make a difference. It still gives a very good indication of what your design looks like. So I don't need to save this. So now all I have left is the company folder, and for that I'm going to show you a few extra tricks. So now we are at the folder right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two, put them in a group, go to the folder here, open it up, drag this over here. So we have the whole cat, of course. We only want part of it. Let's align the top. Let's scale it back down again. So here's the PSB file, here's the mockup. And here it is. Now, but what about if you want to have more than one folder design? So let's say you have alternatives to your folder, you have different versions of your folder. because sometimes companies have that. So let's say you have another one, and let's go to here, and let's say for the other one you actually want to have this one right here. So let's group them. Hold on. And drag that one onto the PSP file. And scale it down. So what would happen if I save this now? They would both change. So you wouldn't be able to show an alternative like this, because both of these files here are attached to the same PSP file, which is this one right here. So you need to figure out a way of duplicating this folder and changing the design at the same time. And so now I'm going to show you how to do that. You close everything except what you want to save. So you're on a transparent background, everything else is closed, and then you go save as, and then you come here and you select PNG, okay, and you write folder 1, give it a name, and save. Now you open everything back up, go back to your PSP file, save it again. So now you have the two cat folders. Yes. You delete this one, and then you open the PNG file. Let me just find it. So it's right here. So I'm just going to drag it onto here. Press enter, and there it is. And this is the only way I can bring it in. There's no other way. Okay, now let's do another one. So let's say I also let's see, I want to have this one also. So I'm just going to group these two now, drag them here, we are going to need to scale this. I need to have this part here visible. This should do it. Yep. So now we have this. So I'm going to close all of them again, and again save as PNG folder 2, save. This one I'm going to go back to the cat, these we can close now, and this we can close as well. So we have folder 2 now. Boom. Down here. And up here. So now we have 3 different folders, and what I'm going to do is, hold on, I'm going to take everything, move it over, bring it back down a bit. Now let's go in here. So I'm just going to align things now, because that's an important part of, I'm aligning the edge to the logo, and then I'm going to take all 3 of them and align that to this edge right here. We have the letter, which can stay where it is. We have the cards, which I think I can probably move in a bit. And then let's see, do I have a guide here? No, I don't. Let me just add a guide. Go to the background, and let's see, if I align the business cards to here, that might work out very nicely. Oh, and I'm noticing that the business cards aren't perfectly aligned on the thing, so I want to fix that as well. So there is your mockup with 3 different folders, 2 of which are PNG files that we put in here. Now what you would finally do is you would save it, of course, with your own name. And then you would crop this. You wouldn't want to have this much space around it. So I would come in like this, and come in like this, and come in like this. Well, open it up just a bit. Probably came in just a tad too much there. Actually, I'm going to leave a bit more on the bottom, and then just take everything and move it down. And the reason why I'm cropping it is because people want to see your design. They don't want to see a whole bunch of gray area around it. And then what you do is you say save as JPEG, take your F and mockup all. And now you do something else. Let me just clear the guide here. Now you start taking crops. So you want to show people your business cards. Okay? So you would take a crop like this, for example. So when you go to 100%, then this is what you see. I'm just going to come in just a tiny little bit because I don't want to have that itty piece of text visible here. And now I'm going to say go save as JPEG, take your F and mockup BC. Then we go back. What else do we want? We want to have a detail of the letterhead and a bit of the, let's see, like so. I'm actually noticing something which I don't like. This I think this mockup is slightly crooked, and sure enough it is. Look, you need to check all of these things. See, everything needs to get adjusted just a tiny bit so that we actually have it straight. So you take everything and, well, actually these would have to be straight. The folders that I brought in, are they straight? No, they're not straight either. Okay, so now this would be just a tiny bit, but it's still quite important that you do this. So it's minus 1 degree almost. Let's see. Is this accurate now? Yes. So all the crops that I took just a minute ago, those are no good because the thing was crooked. And with the cards, I need to go back and make sure that those are aligned properly. And now we take our crops again. And just incidentally, it's better not to have guides when you do this because yeah, now everything is nice and straight, so we can just write over that other file. Go back to here, and you also need to save the whole thing again. Again, let's clear the guides, and let's do this one again, and the rest I'm basically going to leave up to you guys how you want to crop them. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, obviously, but this would probably be a good crop because people want to see the details of your typography and things like that. And also, incidentally, this Mockup has a very nice paper texture on it as an added little bonus. So I'm just going to call that Mockup letterhead top. Then again, go back to the whole thing and look. Also, there can be nice coincidences. What you can do is you can actually just take a crop like this. So if I go to the crop tool now, it's going to go to selection, and so I have a crop like this, which actually looks very, very nice, except I need to come in just a little bit here. And again, save as JPEG, Mockup, crop 1, and on and on and on it goes. So you can also use the selection tool and do it like that as well. And that brings us to the end of the Mockup tutorial. I'll see you later.